Welcome to the System Simplified podcast, where we feature top leaders who share stories on how to successfully systemize a business. Now, let's get started with the show.
Hello, Adi Klevit here, the host of the System Simplified podcast, where I feature top founders, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders about systematizing a business. And today's episode is being brought to you by Business Success Consulting Group, where we create, document, optimize, and implement processes and procedures so businesses can grow and thrive. And today's guest is Kyle Mealy. Hi, Kyle.
Well, hello. Good to see you.
It's great to see you, and it's great to have you on this podcast. And I want to give a big shout out to Jamie White, who introduced us. And Jamie and I met on a NABO, the National Association of Women Business Owners, trip to Colorado.
Cool.
And I remember we were driving up to a mountain that we were going to climb, Mount Flora. It was amazing. And she heard what we do, and she said, "You gotta meet Kyle because da-da-da." And I'm gonna explain why, because I'm gonna read your bio, and it's gonna be very, it's an interesting closing the circle, and I'm really happy that you're on the podcast so we can talk about that.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. All right, Kyle. So great bio. Here we go. So you're the co-founder and visionary of Entrepreneurial Media Company, EMC. And it's a service company dedicated to preserving and promoting the world's best entrepreneurial content for the next 100 years. Wow.
It's true. That's the plan.
That is just amazing. I mean, probably people go, what does that mean? Okay. And then you also found, not that it's not enough, so you founded ENRG. It's, how do you put, like, it's the acronyms, but it's ENRG, right?
Energy, 100%.
It
lights the path. It lights the path.
ENRG, Entrepreneurial Networking Resource Group, a help-first community with 50-plus chapters when entrepreneurs, integrators, and implementers walk the path to mastery together. Beautiful. And that's not enough, so we have more. Kyle, previously you built the Next Level Revenue, authoring the Next Level Revenue formula, and pioneering frameworks like Revenue Cascade and ROASS. How do you pronounce that?
ROAS. It's a bit cheeky.
Okay. So Kyle is known for his radical honesty, simple math frameworks, and a help first, help most approach. His mantra, help first, help most, and move fast. So there you go. Kyle, amazing background, amazing achievements. Let's talk about EMC, so your Entrepreneurial Media Company. What does it mean to be dedicated to preserving the entrepreneurial content for the next 100 years?
It's a big question. Here's the idea. The core idea of this is most entrepreneurs figure it out themselves, right? There isn't a great college course on being an entrepreneur. If you talk to most entrepreneurs, they started in these wildly different walks of life, like I did. And they end up being kind of scattered out in the wild, picking up pieces of information from mentors, from a book, from a podcast, from a webinar, from a friend. And, Gino Wickman, who is a mentor of mine, if you really saw what he did with Traction, he really brought together a lot of genius wisdom and put it into a really simple framework that is reproducible pretty much any entrepreneurial business on the planet between 10 and 250 employees. And, what I see when I look at previous entrepreneurial content, like before Gino's stuff, it kind of falls apart. It disappears. It quietly fades into the background. And so what we thought about when we built EMC is, how do we bring this entrepreneurial content together so that it lasts for 100 years, so entrepreneurs can go to one source of truth to find this wisdom instead of, trying to find it from all these disparate places. or letting some of that content fade into the background and disappear from our consciousness. So someone like Gino has to come and discover it all again and pull it all together. Just seems like an enormous waste of time and energy. So we said, why don't we put it all in one place so it stays there forever?
Absolutely, that makes sense. That's what we tell our clients is that we document their processes and procedures and put it in a single source of truth. So we don't have this exact same phenomena, and I understand that, and I'm sure the business owners can understand that as well, is that, you can document it in a Word document, in a Google Doc, and put it in somebody's computer, in somebody's desktop. And if you do not put it all together in a single source of truth, it disappears. So that is brilliant. So basically, you will take authors like, let's say, Scaling Up and E-Myth and Traction, and just have a single source of truth. I mean, single platform that they can log in and see everything.
I think it's more of a preservation structure, and then on the front half, and then a promotion structure on the back half. So the next generation of entrepreneurs not listening to like my John C. Maxwell Laws of Leadership on CD, or E-Myth is on CD. It's on my shelf right there. That's why I'm kind of doing this awkward pointing thing. So how do the next generation of entrepreneurs learn? And so it's more about creating a distribution system for it and one place where people can go to find it. And so, yeah, you're exactly right. We invest, not interfere, in this brilliance of these entrepreneurial masters. So, for example, Entrepreneurial Media Company owns a stake in the Entrepreneurial Leap. That's one of Gino Wickman's other books. And our job, our sacred duty, is to make sure more entrepreneurs get access to that content. Don't need to interfere with it. It's brilliant.
Brilliant. Okay, so let's talk now about ENRG, which is
Sure.
basically now it's 50 plus chapters. I know there's a local chapter in Portland, Oregon, where I'm from. There is chapters everywhere, just popping up like mushrooms, right? So I would guess 50 plus. So in every state, you probably have a chapter.
It's pretty close. And what's funny is we've been planning this podcast for what, a couple weeks, just trying to get on the calendar. And so my bio says 50. We're at 68. Like,
Okay, so
and
by
this
the time
is,
this podcast is going to be out, which is a few
we could
months
be
from
north of
now,
70 or hundreds. Yeah.
which is amazing. So what brought you, like, where did you get the idea that that's what you want to create?
Well, here's what's interesting. And so we talk about single source of truth, and we talk about, getting people on the same page, and we talk about, an operational process, right? I ran a different group called the Second Gear Group for almost 2 years. And truthfully, my vision for Second Gear Group is almost identical to what it is in ENRG, but I didn't have a single source of truth. I didn't have an integrator. I didn't have operational processes that could be followed by all. I picked it up, threw it on my back, and ran with it like a crazy person. And turns out that's not a great way to inspire and bring people together. So a friend of mine from the EOS conference from years ago, we stayed connected, was building what he called it energy. So we fused our concepts together, but he had unlocked something. He made a very clear, simple process for other chapter leaders to run a chapter in their local market. And that was the brilliance of it. Is it was simple and it was local. And so what's funny is I now definitely label myself as an entrepreneur and a visionary. I used to not. And I'm using visionary not in the crazy term, but in the like entrepreneurial, the EOS community term of visionary. And my friend Forrester, shout out, my hero, is an integrator. And he's a very proud integrator. And I literally called him, and I literally emailed him, or I think it was LinkedIn. It was LinkedIn out of the blue. And I'm like, we need to talk. I got an idea. And I kind of forced the idea of fusing our groups together. That's maybe, yeah, it's not an unfair term. I'm like, listen, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. We're going to bring them together, and then we're going to take this out in the world, and it's going to blow up. And he's like, I don't know about that, as every good integrator would say. And over weeks and months, we built a really solid trust that we had the same values. We wanted it to be help first. We wanted it to be free forever. Neither of us had any ego at all. I'm like, I don't care if we call it energy. I don't care if we call it Second Gear Group, but we have to put this together to serve the entrepreneurial community. And we both agreed on that. And then we built a very simple structure. And you know what happens when you built a simple, repeatable structure? Other people can copy it. and they can copy it really, really well. And so here we are. So that's kind of
That's
the
amazing. And
short
is it only
version.
for EOS people that use EOS?
100% no. It is for entrepreneurs. It is for integrators, someone holding the seat next to the entrepreneur, the right hand, the number two, the second in command, the COO, whatever you want to call it.
But it's also for visionaries, right?
Yeah, visionaries, entrepreneurs, I use those interchangeably in that term.
That's amazing. That's amazing because, I mean, I belong to several groups and, it's definitely you have to invest. It's an investment a year, and here you put it all for free. So I would
100%.
assume that it is up to the groups to make it what they make it. So if they want to bring speakers in, if they want to do workshops, if they want to have an agenda, is it up to them to create it? Like is it member led?
No and yes. Hear me out. Simple structure, but we're very resolute on what the structure is. And this is where you're going to start to see the ties, in love to EOS. In order for someone to start a chapter, they must have an EOS implementer and someone who is titled as an integrator or COO or second in command, right? Something in that role. And those two together form a chapter. When that happens, two beautiful things come together. For me, an implementer is a guide. They are seeing this path to mastery. They're seeing how an entrepreneur gets stuck along this journey. They're seeing how integrators come along and help them, and they have to be the facilitator. They have to show them the path. The integrator, most entrepreneurial companies below, say, 15 employees, they haven't really dabbled in a powerhouse integrator. They haven't really, invested in it. They might have an executive assistant, an operations manager, a director of ops. But when they see an like a real powerful, maybe executive or conductor integrator, they're going to go, oh, I want someone like that running my meetings, running my business. And so the power of that duality, not only does it keep us consistent and pure to our vision and what the program is, so that if you go to an energy chapter in Portland and an energy chapter in Long Island, you're going to have an implementer and integrator leading the room, running the same format.
So
So
you're
you
running
love
it like an L10 meeting, basically?
very close to. The caveat here is there's 20 minutes of what we call content. And so in the 20 minutes of content, we're strict in what fits into that bucket. So the implementer is welcome to teach anything that fits into the framework they have access to as an implementer. They can also teach the entrepreneurial leap content. Gino gave that to entrepreneurs to share with more entrepreneurs so they can tap into that. And then the third bucket, this is one of the other pieces that makes Energy a lot like the EOS conference, is we have vetted, and I call them thoughtful with two L's, thoughtful leaders, like thought leaders, but thoughtful. Well, they're full because they have so much more to give than they're there to get. So what have I seen in other masterminds or whatever you want to call it? It's a referral hub. It's a lead farming. It's a icky networking. It makes me like literally sick to my stomach. So only vetted, thoughtful experts get past our velvet rope, who then can earn and continue to earn a seat in the room at Energy. So, for example, we have a great partner, Pro CFO. He's got CFOs across the country. They can attend, and they're the only people who can attend is if they have that expert sponsor title. They get to sit in the seat and help other entrepreneurs, implementers, and integrators in the Energy chapters. So
And
this
is
is
it
kind of how
all
we
in
round
person
us
or
off.
online?
It's all of the chapters that are local are in person, which was another piece that Forrest brought to the table that was brilliant. It was what we were missing in my first version of this. So then my version of what became Energy is now the only national chapter. So if there's not an Energy chapter near you, you can attend the National Energy chapter. It's once a month, it's 90 minutes, all help first content.
Interesting. Okay.
But yes, and then
Oh,
we go into our IDS. It's like a 90-minute meeting once you get past the first 25. But if you are familiar with the level 10 meeting, you'll recognize our structure very
yeah,
quickly.
no, that's fantastic. That's awesome. So, Kyle, you definitely want to, it's very obvious that you want to help entrepreneurs. That's what drives you and motivates you. And you said help first. And you also like move fast and help most, move fast. You got to make money somehow. So, how do you make money out of energy?
I don't. No, Energy is a nonprofit. That's the greatest part of it to me. So again, I think about the wisdom that was shared with me as an entrepreneur. And gosh, if I had known who I was sooner, and if I had known this content sooner, how much further could I be? So that's what drives me. And when I think about what I've been able to do with Next Level Revenue, which was the first business I started, it's pretty much self-managing. I've got an incredible team over there. Sean, Rain, Laura, I love you guys. Maggie, without you, nothing happens. We all know that. They run the business. That pays my bills. I'm not here to make a ton of money. I'm here to make a ton of meaning. And so I make enough money to make the meaning I want to make. And so Next Level pays that, which allows me to play in energy and truly play. And so the thing I'm
You know what?
most,
I have to stop you here because this is amazing.
yeah,
This is what entrepreneurs dream about. That they have a machine, they have a business. I'm sure you're also very much passionate because you're passionate about anything. So you're passionate about Next Level.
guilty.
And it's great because that's the way you make things happen. So you have that business. It supports your dream, but then instead of just doing nothing, you funnel all of it to help the entrepreneurial world and help this world make a better place. And that, I really want to acknowledge you for that because that has to be recognized. And I know you are not one, as you said, you don't have the ego and you don't want to be recognized, or maybe you do, but this is really what it is. It's a dream come true for many entrepreneurs that want the freedom to create on what really matters. And you accomplish that and you are paying it forward, which is very, very incredible.
Yeah, it's back to that help first, help most. Somewhere something tripped in my brain where it's like, if I just help everybody, it all works out. Like I don't have, like, I don't want to say I have a master plan. I have plans, but I just know if I help others and I help them first and I help as much as I can, whatever I maybe want selfishly, because to acknowledge that I'm not selfish, Tyler Smith, I'm thinking of you, no interest like self-interest, would be a fool's errand. So my interest is in the entrepreneur. And yes, Entrepreneurial Media Company will help with that. Next Level Revenue helps with that. But those are there so I can play here.
That is amazing. And it is absolutely incredible. So Kyle, if people want to get a hold of you, they want to talk to you because they are very much inspired what they heard today. How do they do that?
Probably LinkedIn is your fastest bet. So just connect with me on LinkedIn. That's my name. And then, just shoot me a message and go from there. And then, please, I implore you, join a local ENRG chapter.
Right. So if they want to know about the local ENRG chapter, what do they do?
So on our website, we have a list of all the ENRG chapters. They just hop on, say attend a chapter, they click in, say they want to do, like I'm starting a Milwaukee one. So if you're in the Milwaukee area and listening, please join us. You'll be able to find Milwaukee, attend. Our team will get in contact with the duo who's running it, make sure they get all the information to you, and off you go. Or if there's no chapter near you, come join our National ENRG chapter, and you'll see my mug there too.
Amazing. Thank you so much for being a guest on this podcast. That has been really an inspiring conversation, and thank you for all you do.
Thanks, Adi. I appreciate it.
Thanks for listening to the System Simplified podcast. We'll see you again next time, and be sure to click subscribe to get future episodes.